Council of Norristown, ICN, is a consortium of organizations, individuals, and schools concerned with improving the quality of life and delivery of human services within the greater central Montgomery County. We bring people together in the region to promote collaboration and cooperation among social service organizations, community groups, schools, local governments, and residents. Through this show, ICN presents Making Connections. We will consider a variety of topics that will identify community resources and needs, and will discuss quality of life issues. We'll talk about strategies for strengthening our families, healthy lifestyle choices, and volunteer options. We hope you'll find our show informative and helpful. Today's show is going to focus on food security issues, and we're also going to learn about a very innovative program within the Norristown Area School District called Healthy Times. We hope you enjoy the show.
Today we'll discuss issues about food security. We'll talk about the desire for all families to have enough nutritional food and identify ways that families and community organizations can work together to ensure that people who need food can find it and the supports that they might need. We'll also talk about a dynamic health education program taking place in the Norristown Area School District. So our guests today are going to help us understand something about food security, about hunger and ways people might find ways to increase their purchasing power. These harder economic times have really impacted people. In fact, from December 08 to December 09, the participation in the food stamp program has gone up. In Montgomery County, 33%. It's gone up in the city, and it's gone up in the other suburban counties as well. Food cupboards and soup kitchens are also experiencing an increase in requests for service as well. So we wanted to ask you to tell us a little bit more about how people can access food cupboards, food pantries, food stamps, what that is, what's it all about, and also find out more about some consultation services like information and referral that might be available. So let me introduce you, and we'll get started with our conversation. Angela Nunez, you're with us from the VNA Community Services, the Personal Navigator Program, and Patrick Druin from CADCOM, Food and Nutrition Services. Thanks to both of you for being here today. Let's start with you, Patrick. Tell us more about hunger and food security.
Yeah. Hunger and food security can be two separate terms. Hunger, we tend to think about people having an immediate need. Community food security tends to focus on not just the need, but also the community response to that need. People may have problems with their children going to school hungry. They may not have enough food in the larder. And community food security really focuses on the whole range of programs that may be used to address that. It could be, your school lunch program, could be a farm-to-school program using community-supported agriculture, or your emergency food cupboards, soup kitchens, the more traditional responses. CADCOM, we're involved in running the programs that are based around food cupboards and soup kitchens and shelters. There's two primary programs that's used for that, the State Food Purchase Program, which is money that's allocated through the state budget. We should be hearing about that in a few days. Yeah. And there's also food that comes directly through the USDA Emergency Food Assistance Program. And that is the traditional one that people may have heard about, where a lot of butter gets delivered off the back of a truck or something. It's a much more involved program now with hundreds of different commodities giving you a fully balanced, nutritious meal. And it comes into the county through, the Army delivers it into Philadelphia, and then it gets delivered out through Philadelphia Cold Storage and Warehousing, and then we distribute it to the local cupboards. People looking to access those cupboards usually give us a call, but they can also go on our website. It's www.cadcom.org. And through there, they can actually find a list of the food cupboards. We have a Food Resource Center guide that we put out last year, and we'll be putting out a new version. It has a number of different food programs, but it also contains the food cupboard list in there. And that we're also going to be making available on the website in a downloadable form.
That's great. So CADCOM is responsible for getting those federal resources throughout the county to the different food cupboards, soup kitchens, shelters. And additionally, you can help people access some funds for food through the food stamp program, which is known as SNAP. which I'm just learning about, is known as SNAP. But Angela, let me turn to you then and ask, because through the VNA Community Services, the Personal Navigator Program, that's essentially what you're doing, is helping people access some supports.
Correct. What we do is screen our calls, and then based on the information that's provided, see what services, what benefits a person would qualify, and then help them to apply for those benefits and get those benefits. So in the case of the SNAP program, we would take that information and we would check according to income if an individual or family qualifies, and then we would help them to apply. Generally speaking, we use the Compass program, which is the computer software which is available to the public to do those applications. And so it's an e-form that goes directly to the county assistance office. Just to give you an idea for the qualifying numbers for the food stamps, for one individual, $1,444 is the income. So if you're up to that income would be the cutoff to apply for food stamps at the county assistance office. And once those applications are submitted and they're processed, a person is provided an access card, which is a debit card. So it's like when they go to the grocery store, like anyone else, you swipe the card and it subtracts from your card the amount that you have spent on your groceries at that time. And so people have the advantage of being able to choose the groceries that they want when they're using their SNAP debit card.
Okay, so food stamps are now called SNAP.
Correct.
And the mechanism is not a stamp, but a debit card.
Exactly, it's a debit card.
That you use at any grocery store or place that you purchase food.
Right, that accepts the card.
That accepts the card, okay. There are income eligibility guidelines.
Yes.
And they can find all this out by calling you or by going online. You mentioned an e-form, an electronic form that people can file directly with the state.
This is the Compass program,
Compass, okay.
and we use the Compass program for the majority of our applications, but again, it is available to anyone. You can access it actually at the county assistance office. There are now computer stations set up, or the local library, or from a person's home if they have their own computer. The website is www.humanservices.state.pa.us/compass. If that's a lot to remember, if you type in Compass and Human Services, the site will come up so that a person can access it. And the nice thing about the site is you can actually do sort of a practice run to see if you would qualify for those benefits. And also through the Personal Navigator program, and we would do that as well, screen someone to see if they qualify.
Now, again, it's been very tough for a lot of people these days. People are losing jobs, and they're concerned, their security, they might have some food, but gee, am I going to have enough for next week? And, can I send the kids with lunch this week? Or all those kinds of different situations. And people are unfamiliar with receiving assistance. What kinds of supports, do you offer? What if people don't qualify? What if they do? It's the first time they've had to ask for this kind of help. What else might they expect in this kind of a visit?
Right. Well, in our screening process, we're going to see if they qualify for a benefit. We're going to help them to apply for it if they need our assistance. Some people are fine. They get the information, and then they're okay to file on their own, but we're certainly glad to help a person file for the SNAP program. Often it's a combination of services. For families that have young children or pregnant women, they can use the WIC program to assist with food. Older children may qualify for breakfast and lunch through their school. They could get the SNAP program, and they could also turn to local food cupboards and soup kitchens. So it's not always just one or the other, but a combination depending on the needs of the family and whether they qualify for those different services.
Okay, so if they came to you, they would have a conversation with you about these things.
Correct, and we would let them know, what the services are, how you qualify for those services, how to get access to those food.